Spooky time.
It's spooky season, bitches.
Spooky.
I'm actually really excited for these.
I know, same. I was like reading over them a little bit like lightly last night and I was like, oh, this will be fun.
Yeah, I didn't read any of the thing that you put in here.
Okay,
Well, hi
good.
everybody. Welcome to our spooky
Hey,
episode. We're
happy
gonna talk about all
Halloweener.
things. Yeah, happy Halloweeny. We're gonna talk about ghosts. We're gonna talk about cults. We're gonna talk about paranormal and aliens and conspiracy theories and all of these fun things that we have on our list.
I
And if that's
cannot
not your jam,
wait.
skip over this episode
Yeah.
because we've been waiting for this one since we started the podcast 3
No,
months
literally, we
ago.
talked about this. Like, okay, we got a
Forever
plan for
ago.
Halloween.
Yeah. Originally,
Months
we were
ago
going to do the
in
entire
June.
month. Yeah, it
Yeah.
literally was in June. We were like, okay, what are we going to do? We were going to do the whole month, but then with our trip episodes, it just like wasn't a good time. So
Yeah.
you're going to get all of what we were going to talk about in one episode. So this might be long.
Yes. Prepare yourself. I think it's only right that we kick it off with your ghost story.
I was thinking, I was like, should we do that first or should we save it for last? But I'm down to tell it now. And I also have
Just
my
kick her off right off the
sisters.
bat.
Yeah, we're just going to dive full on into some ghost stories. Before we start, make sure you are following us on Instagram at Socially Unfiltered Pod, and make sure if you like the podcast that you leave a review or at least hit the 5 stars. It really helps us.
If you
And the
think we deserve
ratio,
it.
yes, only if you think we deserve it. That's why I was like, if you like it, leave a review. If you don't,
Let
skip
us
over it.
know.
Yeah. Or be honest. We like constructive criticism.
Be nice. I'm sensitive.
I just sent a meme to one of my clients this morning. So I was like, tell me if you don't like this reel. Like, I promise it won't hurt my feelings. And she goes, no, I really like it. And she was like, if I ever didn't like something, I would tell you, but nicely. And I sent her this meme that I keep saved on my phone. And it's the picture of the witch. And it says, please be gentle with the witch. She is fragile. And it's like
No,
a
literally.
decorative witch, like in a store.
Wait, I sent you that on Instagram too.
Did you?
Yes, I just DM'd you that. The witch is
Today?
The witch is yes, like literally a what? How long ago? Wait, was it on my?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah, isn't that funny?
That's so weird.
I know.
I just sent that to my client at 8:30 this morning, and I haven't looked at my DMs from you.
Yeah, isn't that
That
funny?
is so weird. Okay,
Of course.
well, first spooky event of the spooky episode.
Are we
I love that for us.
surprised?
No, absolutely not. But yeah, so follow us on Instagram. Make sure you're hanging out with us over there. And yeah, let's get into it. So, okay. I have literally 1 million ghost stories I could tell. So I'll tell like I'll tell the first one from the very first time that I like actively remember it happening and can like recount everything that happened. Because like I've said on here before, I would see things and hear things when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time, like very specifically when I was 16, that I remember being like, I just saw a fucking ghost. Like it was the craziest thing that's ever happened. So my best friend growing up had this house. Well, not growing up, it was when we were in high school. And the house itself was very active, like in a million different ways. Like there was a time that we went on vacation and one of our friends was watching her family dog and she came over one day to like take care of the dog and all of the pillows in the house were in the middle of the hallway. Like every pillow off of the bed was stacked up in the hallway. And the dog is like 4 pounds. Yeah, it's like so creepy. And there were times that like we would see things in mirrors. We used to hang out in the attic of the house because it was like redone. So it was like a really cool like hangout space. And there was a wall phone up there for some reason. And it would come
No.
off of the wall all the time and we would just hear like the dial tone like from downstairs. It like the weirdest little things. But that house was the first time that I remember being like, what the fuck? So in the house, there was like 5 bedrooms. It was this huge old house. And there was a guest room. And I would keep all of my, because I like stayed there when I came home from like college breaks and stuff. And there was this room that I kept all of my stuff in. And there was like a bunch of us hanging out downstairs. And I went upstairs to get something out of this room. And I walk into the room and nobody used this room. So when they moved in, everything was kind of just like thrown in there. So there was this king size bed and this king size bed frame that's made out of like solid fucking wood. This detail is important because it was really big and it was really heavy. But when they moved in, they didn't like screw in the headboard and the footboard. Like they were just kind of like leaning against the end of the bed. And I remember walking in the room to go around the bed to get my stuff out of like the dresser on the other side. And as I walk past the footboard of the bed, that's so like this is the bed,
Yeah.
this is the footboard, like leaning on it. And I remember walking past it and I turned around because I just like had this feeling I should turn around. And the footboard of the bed was like slowly, like starting to go, and like if I didn't reach out and grab it, like that shit was about to smash to the floor and it was heavy as fuck. So like I know that it wasn't me just like, oh, I bumped into it, because it wouldn't
Yeah.
fall backwards. It would like slide down because it was so heavy. Like it needed to be
Yeah.
lifted to go this
It's
way.
one
So anyway,
strong ghost.
yeah. So I
It's
turn
got
around and
muscles.
I'm like, I mean, she'd be swole. She'd be up in the gym working on her fitness. Like so I turn around and I see it falling. I reach out and grab it. At the same time that I grab it, I look up and there's just this black thing that just whooshes out of the room. And I remember, so like again, we had
Dude,
a
that
bunch of
is
friends.
like I can't even like fathom like seeing something like that. Like that
It
just
was
sounds fake.
so it was
Like that
so
sounds like a movie.
fast. Yes, and like we had seen and heard weird things before that happened. Like I wasn't the first one to see something in that house. Actually, the first person to see something in that house was one of our friends, and like I said, we would hang out in the attic. And one day we were coming down the stairs of the attic and her mom had this like big mirror at the bottom of the stairs. So like when you came down the stairs, you could see yourself coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
And our friend said that there was a day that he was coming down the stairs and he saw an old woman coming down the stairs behind him.
Okay.
And a few days later, my friend's mom, who like owned the house, showed us pictures of the woman that owned the house before her, and it was her. Like, and
With
she
her.
was
Oh my
old and
god.
died.
What's
So
she
that was the first
doing?
time. I know. So that was the first time that I like actively remember seeing something. And
That's
I had a
crazy.
bunch of weird things, kind of like one of my friends passed away. And like a couple years later, on the anniversary of that happening, I woke up in the middle of the night and my bedroom window was open. I was in college at this point, and my bedroom window was open. And I remember waking up and seeing this like white thing just whoosh out the window. And I'm like,
What the
it's just
heck?
weird because if you look into like spirits and ghosts and stuff, the different colors of them can mean different things. And black usually doesn't mean good,
Good.
and white usually means like nice. And there I should have pulled these up. I didn't even think about it. The house that I saw the first ghost in, we have these pictures. So it was like 2010, 2011, when like webcams were like really cool to have on your
Yeah.
computer. And
Oh yes.
we had a gathering one day and we had my friend's laptop sitting on the kitchen table and we opened the webcam and started like taking all of these pictures, and you can see a head in the back of one of the pictures, and if you click to the next one it's not there. Like it's the I'll try to find them and show them to you. It's actually the weirdest fucking thing. But yeah, so that was the first time that I ever actively saw something. I definitely had experiences before then. Like I'll have to dive into everything with my sister and everything and like what happened with us. Like I have her
Yeah.
story that she texted me too. But yeah, that was the first time I ever actively saw something. And also really weird too, another one of my really good friends growing up, like still one of my best friends, she had a house that was also like very active, and in the house we used to see and hear things like a lot. And in the house, the guy that owned it, he sexually assaulted his daughter and did like a bunch of really sketchy shit before they lived there. And then they remodeled the downstairs of their house. And after they remodeled the downstairs, we never saw or heard anything again. But like there was a room upstairs that like I legit would not go in because it just gave me such a
Ugh,
bad vibe.
bad vibes. Yeah.
So it's just weird. I
Ugh,
had two best friends
I don't
growing up
like
that both
that.
had like extremely haunted houses.
That's so crazy. Because I have not had like any experience like that. Like I've never had a go. Like I've never. I don't know if it's like me not being open to it or what.
I
But
don't
I
think
feel like
it's that.
I've never, which like, I don't really want to
That's what I was
see.
gonna say. It's like I think a little bit of your subconscious like knows that you don't want to, because that's why I feel like I
Unless I
don't
did and it was
see
traumatizing. I don't know, maybe. But like, I don't
right.
watch, I told you this the other day that I don't watch any movies with like ghosts or like
Hmm.
paranormal
Possession.
or like possession. Like, I don't know why. I feel like I've watched like two when I was a kid and it scared me so bad that I'm like, it's like a weird scare where like I love the thriller type of scare where it's like I don't know, American Horror Story, like I love that. I love
Hmm.
a good thriller and like I can do gore, but I can't for some reason do paranormal because it feels too fucking real to me. Like I know
Because
thrillers
it
obviously
could
can be
be,
real too, like breaking into a
but
house or
not in your
like
own home.
but
Like
like
that's the
crime,
difference.
anything. I'm like I know it can be real, but for some
Hmm.
reason the ghost shit, I just it scares me to my core. Like I won't sleep. I will think about it. I will think something's in the room and like probably invite that in because of the way I think
Right.
and like watching it. So I'm always like, "Ugh, I can't watch this stuff. It scares
Which
the
I
shit out of me."
totally get. Like I probably shouldn't watch a lot of the things that I watch. But like I low-key want to be a ghost hunter. Like I want to like buy some of the equipment and just like go to haunted places. But that's what I was going to say too is I feel like you might have just not been in the right, I don't know if environment is the word for it, but like I feel like if you were to go somewhere that has like a lot of activity happening, you
Yeah.
might see something, but I feel like you might not have anything like closely attached to you for you to like just see it randomly like
Yeah.
around your house, you know what I mean? Like both of the
Yeah.
houses that I saw things in like were very very active for a lot of people, not just me. Like I wasn't the only
Mhm.
one to see or hear things, which I feel like was probably one of the only reasons that I ever saw or heard anything in those houses,
Yeah.
because they were like prior
Mhm.
actively being haunted, if that's the right word. But I low key want to be
Actively.
a ghost hunter.
I mean, I loved watching like the American Horror Story Murder House, like that I could watch, but I don't know, for some reason I just can't get behind the paranormal anything. I'm like I feel like I'm inviting that in.
And
Which in
you
a
low
way I
key like
guess you are.
yeah,
You
you
are.
kind of are.
What
Yeah.
you
So
watch and
it's
what you
not
listen to and what
yeah, it's
you're
definitely not crazy to think like that or to think like, oh,
yeah.
I shouldn't watch this for that reason. I definitely
Mhm.
agree with you. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of things that I probably shouldn't watch either. Well, but do you want me to read my
Okay.
sisters quick and then we'll go back and
Oh
forth? Or do you
yeah.
want to do one of those first and then
No, let's read your
go back?
sisters. We're already in the avenue of your experiences.
I was just gonna say these are the only two that I'll like submit to this like from myself. So just like get them over with. I'm so fucking cocky doing these first. Okay,
No, you're
so
not. I suggested that. It was me.
So I think I've said this on here before, but my sister and my mom both have like experiences too, and like we're very open to
Yeah.
seeing and hearing and feeling. So my older sister, I didn't even really ever ask her the full story until kind of recently. Like I just looked and these texts are from April and
Mhm.
or August, sorry, literally 2 months ago. I finally was like, okay, tell me the story. Cause like I always knew something happened, but I think I was too scared to know exactly
Yeah.
what happened because it was in my own house.
Mhm.
So, from my perspective, what I remember, and just like a little tiny backstory, my parents got a divorce. Me and my mom and my sister moved into this duplex, and the entire duplex burned down, but they only redid one side. So, we lived in the side that was redone. It was like all brand new, beautiful, super nice. But when you
Why did they
looked at the
only do
house,
one side?
I have no idea. Like looking back, I'm like, that is
That's
so
so
weird. Like, I
weird.
don't know
Yeah.
why they did that.
We only got the funds for one side.
No, literally, I think that had to be what it was. And I
Mhm.
also think back and I'm like, was that even like structurally like
Yeah, like
up to
allowed.
code? Like, I
Yeah.
don't think they were allowed to do that. So we moved into this duplex and the one side was completely burned down. Like there was still the structure of the house, but like
Mhm.
it I don't know. It was so weird. And like, I don't know. I was like 11 or 12 and I'm like thinking back and I'm like, I'm surprised I never went like exploring on that side. Like
Yeah.
went and like poked around in there just because I'm like nosy as fuck. But like I
Yeah.
remember getting such a bad feeling. Like I would never even play like in the yard on that side of the house. Like it was so weird. But
Mhm.
the house was actually like an L. So it was like our house, the house that burnt down. So there was only one wall in between these two like apartments basically that shared a
Yeah.
wall. Like there was just one wall and it was in my sister's room. So I finally asked her, I was like, because all I remember from my end was one night I was laying in bed, my sister comes sprinting in and is like, I'm sleeping in here for the rest of my life. And I was like, okay. And then it got like super creepy and we all started sleeping in my mom's bed. So I was like, for like 2 years, I'm like, that's so fucked up and also so funny at the same time because we were just so scared like of this house.
Yeah. It's funny, but it's
So
not. Like,
no, it's really not, but like kind of was. So this is the text that my sister sent me. We moved into the apartment, and my room was the only one of the house that was connected to the abandoned side of that house. No idea if that means anything or not. My friends and I did a Ouija board and it really worked. We were also drinking alcohol, and I found out later that it's really bad to drink alcohol with a Ouija board. So after that night, a few days later, I saw a huge black figure in the corner of my room, and what woke me up was sparks going across the front of my TV, but my TV was off. It was an old box TV. I don't know if you remember it, but the static on it, if you touched it, it would move with you. And I don't know if you remember this, but on really
yeah.
old TVs, you could touch it. And she said that
Yes, and you
that
could
started
feel.
happening.
Mm-hmm.
That started
I
happening,
remember
but the
that.
TV was off. So she said that's what woke me up. And when I woke up, I saw the figure by my closet and it pretty much paralyzed me. Like I could not move out of my bed, but I knew I needed to get out of the room. So I finally worked up enough courage and ran out of the room and I never slept in there again. Then every day when we came home from school, my window would be open, but none of us would open it. After that, I would sleep with mommy, and you were in there sometimes too, and all the windows in her room and blinds would twist open, and the shades would close and sway back and forth when we were all trying to go to sleep. There would also be crows that would literally stalk me. And when she said this, I like kind of laughed, but I remember this. Like, I genuinely remember black birds like following my
Stop.
sister around. And then there were times in our living room, like, this was the weirdest shit. Like, I swear to God, there is nothing that I remember more clearly than this with zero explanation. We would be sitting in my living room and it would like a black bird would just fucking fly across the room and slam into the window and the blinds would move. Like it genuinely was a bird fucking flying into the window, but there was no bird. Like it would disappear after it hit the window. And I remember that happening like multiple times. It was so fucking weird. But that was pretty much
Ugh,
everything from
I have
her. So the
chills.
first time, yeah. And then there was a lot of things that happened after that, but that was the first time that she ever saw something like actively in her room.
And did she tell your mom?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why we all knew. That's why we all, like, literally, I think back on it, I'm like, it's so weird that an 11 and a 15-year-old slept with their mom legit for
Yeah.
probably like the entire 2 years that we lived in this apartment. But like, we all were just too scared to like be alone in this house.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we all knew. Like we all and I remember her running into my room that night that it happened and then she went and got my mom. And then after that my sister legit moved her bed like into my bedroom. And like no 15-year-old wants to share a room with their
No.
11-year-old sister. Like
That's
that's
so
weird.
scary. She's probably
Right?
terrified.
So
Like, and that is
yeah.
terrifying because they probably like just thinking of a 15-year-old doing a Ouija board. Because I remember doing one time, and I even saw a TikTok of this, like this big account, and I forget what they do. It's like a mom and a daughter, and they were doing the Ouija board at the cemetery because their dad passed away, and they were like, should we even be doing this? And they were like, yeah, why not? We'll see if he comes around. And they're like, well, what if like another spirit comes? And they're like, whatever. So then they like started moving it and they kept taking their hands off, and like you're not supposed to
No,
do
that's
that.
really bad.
That's like you're
It
known to be
breaks the
like
circle.
cursed. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, so you're like screwed. So I don't know what's happening with them now. I got to like check on that again. But I saw that, and like Ouija boards are, if you don't say goodbye, if you don't like do all
Hmm.
these things plus the alcohol, like I bet she just welcomed in so many different spirits
Yeah.
that were like not supposed to be there and they never left. Like they probably were just
Hmm.
like trapped there.
We literally had somebody come over with holy water, like for the house, and sage the house
Did it work?
for a little while. And then it
Mm,
kind of came back. And then when we moved out of that house, it pretty much all stopped. I've never
yeah.
done a Ouija board though. I've always been too scared of them.
Yeah, I'm too scared to do it. I mean, I did it when I was like, I don't know, 12 probably. Like I was so young and I think we were all like moving it for fun. Like I really don't even think
Yeah,
it worked
right.
cuz I don't remember like any experience like
Hmm.
anything. So I don't even think it worked when I don't think we like did it right, but
Tried. Well, and that's
yeah.
like it, like you said, there are a lot of like ritualistic things that you have to do with it. Like you're supposed to
Yeah.
like set your intentions before you go in so that you know exactly who
Yes.
you're talking to. You're not supposed to lift your hands off because that like allows the spirit to leave the Ouija board. You're supposed to close
Mhm.
your circle and everything. Like, I don't know. I think I've always just been able to feel enough that I'm like, I can't fucking touch one of those things. Are you kidding me? Like, I
Oh
would
my
get
god. You would
possessed.
like
Like,
yeah, like it would take over.
literally.
Like we would see Have you seen what's her face? Your girl? What's her name? Morgan. Have you seen her lately?
No, and you know, I was just thinking about it the
Hmm.
other day, and I think I might have been like
Scared her
after we talked
away.
to kind of. I think I
You
I
hurt her
think I might have
feelings.
made her feel like I didn't want her here, or I maybe asked one too many times to present yourself a little bit different.
Mm.
Um, but I kind of feel like she's waiting for me at the new house. Like I feel like she already moved without me.
She's in the closet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lex got a new home.
Yes, we
She's
got a new
moving.
house. Yeah, we're moving.
Well, you have
Veronica's
to
room
tell
will
her
be
it's
set up.
okay to go with you.
No, yeah, Morgan, you're coming with. Literally, I feel like she's already there. Like as soon as I found this house, I was like, "This is our house. Like this is going to be our house." And I feel like when I
Yeah.
started saying that out loud, she was like, "Oh shit, time to go." Like the people that live there now are probably like, "What the fuck is
Yeah,
this
they're probably like feeling
spirit
her,
doing here?"
seeing her.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? They really want us out of here?
Oops. Sorry,
Are you going to
guys. I'll
start
be there
working with
soon.
Lauren soon? Like,
Yes,
are you
and I
doing stuff
was
with her
gonna do
soon?
it before my birthday. I was gonna do it like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just didn't. But now that we have like all this house stuff figured out, I feel a little bit less like stressed with my life. And I feel like I can do a little bit more like recreational things. So if
Ready
I
to
don't
welcome
start
all
it,
the spirits into the new home.
literally,
Ethan's
we'll
like,
be in
great.
there. Yeah. We'll be in there in
Can't
the next
wait.
like month or so. So if I don't start before then, I'm going to start like as soon as we move in there, just once everything is
Yeah.
kind of settled down. But no, I definitely have been
Perfect.
feeling and seeing her a lot less lately. And I think it's because I
Mm-hmm.
made her feel like she wasn't welcome. And I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. Poor girl.
I know.
Well,
My
she
girl.
scared you long enough, so she'll come back.
Well, and like that reel that I sent you the other day when I was like, you need to face your inner demons. And these are my inner demons. Like, that's the costume of like what I would see her as.
Literally
I was like,
stop.
now all I can see is her like pole dancing. I can't, and I have a pole in my garage. So I'm like, she's probably hanging out in
She's
there
in
pole
there.
dancing. Yeah.
She's in there. Fucking crying. Yeah, just picture that and you won't be scared anymore.
I know. That's why
Oh
as
my
soon as I
god.
saw that, I was like, first of all, this is funny as fuck. Like me trying to face my inner demons. My inner demon is pole dancing.
With like a scary ass fucking painted face
Yeah.
on. Oh my god, so good. All right, we'll get into your
So
ghost
funny.
stories now, people. So,
Okay, yeah. Thanks for listening to me forever. You
yeah,
can read.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
I have
A little
never had,
family trauma.
like, literally all bonded in, like,
We
probably
really
a queen
are.
bed. In a little queen
Yeah.
bed. Head to toe. You're like the
And I was like,
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory family.
no, literally. Like all three of
Like
us in one.
the
Yeah.
grandparents.
And I always had to be in the
Oh
middle
my
because I was
god.
the youngest. So they're like, you're fine. Like we can squish you in. I'm like,
The
okay.
worst. I mean, pretty safe though. Not in the corners where someone can
I
grab
know.
you.
Low key, I was like, if a hand reaches up from the side, it's not going to touch me. So,
It's over.
yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. All right, this one we have. I haven't read these, so this is new. When
These
I was
were written into
7,
us.
yeah,
Yes.
When I was 7, I woke up in the middle of the night to a young child kneeling near my bed praying. At first, I thought it was my younger brother, so I asked him what he was doing. After I asked, he slowly looked at me and stood up and started running. So I hopped out of bed and I followed him down my stairs and out the front door. We had a long driveway, and I followed him all the way to the end, and then he simply vanished. I went back to my room, and nothing like that happened again. Wow. I wonder what, like, maybe he was like a good spirit praying over you, or like,
Right?
huh.
And like
That's
as
crazy
a
that nothing ever
child
happened. Like he was like, "Oh
after
shit,
that, well,
wrong house." Like,
literally. And that's what I was just gonna say. I feel like as somebody who like as a child would see and hear things, like I feel like it's
hmm,
so normal to just be like, yeah, like that just happened and
yeah,
not really think much of it. Like it just kind of sounds like they, went back to bed and they were like, okay, like I tried to see what that was about. I guess
yeah,
I couldn't. But it's
crazy.
also weird, like if you have a sibling that is that age and like
Yeah,
it could be them and it's not, like that's scary.
I would think about that for the rest of my life. I mean, clearly they
No,
remember it, so
literally. I would think about it for the rest of my life.
that's crazy.
Do you want me to do the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to do two in a row. Okay, so this again was written in by somebody. I was standing in my parents' room talking to my very sick dad at the time. He was dying of stage 4 esophagus cancer. I got the feeling that something was behind me. I looked towards the doorway to the living room, and something about 4.5 feet tall and fully black is peeking around the corner with his hands on the door frame. I ran towards it and it slipped
No.
out the door.
I
When
have
I got
chills.
outside the
Stop.
doorway, there was nothing. My dad was completely confused when I stepped back into the room and told him. People who stayed at my house in my dad's final days claimed to have seen it. My mom saw the figure on multiple occasions in multiple places until he passed away, and we haven't seen it since. And it's creepy when it's little. Like, it's
Oh.
creepy when it's like a
Yeah, what the
little
hell?
thing.
What?
Yeah.
What was
Four
that?
and a
And the
half
fact
feet
that it's
tall.
black, like as we said, we don't know if that's
Hmm.
good. Like, what is. That's scary.
And like the hands, like I can literally just like see like the hands on the door frame.
Stop. Literally
I know,
stop. I
sorry.
have chills. Like, oh my God. Nobody touch me.
That's like
So
what I
scary.
saw. Remember when we were on the call with Lauren that day and I was like, something's peeking in my door right now. Like that's
No,
exactly what
literally
it
fucking
was.
stop.
Yeah. I know I
Mm-mm.
had like very extensive follow-up conversations with both of these people and was just like, oh my God, like how do you live the rest? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Whoa. That's wild.
We can skip this true crime one and you can do the cult one if you want.
Oh, all right.
And then I'll go back to the true crime one.
All right. So this is a cult
Enough about
one.
ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll circle back another time. So this cult is called the 12 Tribes. And there's like a whole long thing. It's basically beliefs resemble like Christian fundamentalism, Judaism.
Mhm.
It's just like this big movement that all believes that all other denominations are fallen, and they like refuse to align with any denomination or like movement. They're very like strict. So basically, I found a few like Reddits about this, and I found somebody who was in this because we have one literally 30 minutes away in my hometown, and they're like all over the place. So basically they'll open up like these little shops. I guess that they were founded in, okay, I want to say Vermont. Let me double check that it was Vermont.
While you're double checking, I'll also throw this out there that I also had one of these in my hometown growing up, and I
Yeah.
didn't know that it was like related to the 12 tribes because I've always known them as the Yellow Deli cult, and they're the same
Mm-hmm.
thing, which I didn't know until I saw that you put this on here, and I was like, wait a minute, like
So
I
there's a
know about
ton.
that.
They support it basically supports itself because all the members in it like work together, and they don't make any income. Like their full-time thing is like working at these businesses that they start, and everything
Hmm.
goes towards like the tribe. So there's like construction, it's called like BOJ construction. There's actually one 40 minutes away, and apparently using unpaid child labor. So, like,
Yes.
questionable. Then there's like Commonwealth Construction, Greener Formulas, Mate Factor, Tribal Trading. There's a farm in Kansas. And then this group also runs restaurants that's called Yellow Deli Restaurants and the Common Ground Cafe Restaurants, which is what we have, the Common Ground Cafe. I don't know if I'm like allowed to like be talking about it or saying it like
I
that.
know
Like,
it's
I don't
so
know what
weird.
the. Maybe we
Well,
just
because
beep
it's
out the name. But you can look this up and like see.
yeah, it's literally on Google. It's fine. We're not
Like,
like
people are.
exposing anybody. We're not Shane Dawson out here
Right.
exposing fucking TJ Maxx.
Literally. So this is what somebody wrote about it. And like after being there for so many years, he wrote, they lure you with nice things, nice food, nice music, and good moral ideas. Underneath it is a really crazy doctrine that says black people are cursed and the end of the world is in 48 years, and that they're trying to raise up to 144,000 young virgin men to be sacrificed and killed by the governments of the world, the beast that's in the Bible. Their entire existence and everything they do is driven by the prophecy. They won't tell you directly, but this is absolutely true to them. They directly control your love life. In the community, you don't get a paycheck, you work super hard, and your individualism is stripped away. You have to give up everything, your bank account, your family, everything, which isn't hard if you already have nothing like I did. The young people who are on hard times and are vulnerable, or going through hard times and are vulnerable, these are the people that they target. They are the people who join, they are tricked. I will say, though, in my experience and in my opinion, if you spent years there and decide to leave for some reason, things will be very difficult and you will have nothing and you may lose friends in the commune. And then he also said, they try to persuade people who are young and impressionable and have an open mind. Like I said before, it's all psychology. They pull from the sensitive parts of your life, make you feel bad about your bad decisions, and the only way to fix it is to join them. The skillfully I don't know what that says. They skillfully guilt and hope that you submit. But first, they'll win you over with cookies, nice food, music, and yerba mate. Just keep in mind the founder, Eugene Springs, was a military psychologist and a high school counselor before he founded the cult. He just died in January of 2021. He knew how to work the people's fear and guilt. Friday nights are more for visitors than themselves. Although they enjoy Friday nights too, because that's the state of the Sabbath, their one day off. After working long days, 6 days a week, that just one day is a welcome sight. Whether you support them, I guess it depends on your moral view. Just know that their whole existence hinges on the end of the world in 48 years and 144,000 young male virgins being martyred for the sake of bringing the end. So, yeah, I've always known about them. Like, I remember going in there the first time and like the food is freaking delicious. And I guess that's how they
That's
get
the
you.
same
Like,
with the
the food, the
deli.
sandwiches, like everything's delicious. And I'll even post like the pictures of what it looks like inside. It's like all wood. And it's like if you look up Common Ground Cafe, like
Mm-hmm.
Hyannis, Massachusetts, look it up and see what it looks like inside. It's like literally wooden fixtures. And this one girl even made another blog about it where she was like, I literally think I just like ate from a cult. Like,
Yeah.
it's a little bit scary. And it like sounds all good on their website of like, oh, we're just a community and we're just like all about homeschooling and like we just live off
Mm-hmm.
the land and all this stuff. But the issues are like they've gotten in trouble for child labor.
Yes.
The things that they practice and like the rituals that they do is like really sketchy, and like you can't get married and they decide who you marry, and like they want you to make as many children as possible because they want those like young virgins. I don't know.
And I'm pretty sure that one of their like something that they revert back to with kids is like physical restraint. Like they think that kids are meant to be like quiet and sit still and like they
Mm-hmm.
don't like if a kid is crying in this community, it's
Yeah.
totally normal for an adult to like slam them down and like put their hand over their mouth. That's like one
Mm-hmm.
of the only things that I know about them because it's very parallel to like the Duggars LDS. Oh,
Yeah.
LDS.
LDS. Yeah.
Yes, of
Mm-hmm.
LDS, but it's very like parallel of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
we had a yellow deli like 15 minutes away from my hometown, like in the town over, and I remember
Mm-hmm.
going to it. Had no idea that it was like that. When I do remember there being kids working there though. Like I
Yep.
remember there being kids actively working there and like thinking it was weird, but also my family owned a restaurant and I worked there when I was like 12, 13, like bussing tables. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, it never clicked to me that something else was weird about that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
never knew it as 12 tribes. I always knew it as That's the Yellow Deli cult. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's
they're
insane.
closed right now for renovations. I looked on
Oh,
the website. I'm like,
probably
okay.
for a long time
But
if I had to guess.
I hope so. I mean, their stuff is good, but it's just like I don't want to support that. And it's
Absolutely
even like
not.
women are not allowed to like speak in big circles, like all this stuff that the guy was
Hmm.
saying. There's like the whole Reddit page was like, I was in this for years. Like he was just coming
Yeah.
out of like the military, I think, and he had like no family and no money, and they like obviously pride on that. And
Hmm.
he's like, it was just really hard to leave because you have nothing after that. Like you have nothing to show for your income, nothing to show for what you've been doing the last couple of years. Like you're just, they almost make it so you can't leave.
Yeah,
So
100%. And it's so hard
scary.
to leave. That's like, there's so many people. I mean, I'm super into watching like cult documentaries and stuff. And like, I was really into the Duggars and like, even like a lot of the Duggar
Charles
kids have
Manson.
been, yes, like a lot of them are like, it's impossible to leave because you have nothing. So, like, literally, your option is to like walk away, like physically with nothing but like the clothes that you have on. And that's harder than just staying for a lot of people.
Yeah,
So
100%.
it's sad.
It is sad.
But yeah,
Oh, scary.
there's like, and like what's so crazy to me is like the fact that there's still like active cults right now. Like,
Yeah.
they're not all like crazy, like gonna kill everybody, but I mean, a lot of like the ayahuasca stuff is like people preying on people who like just want to feel better about themselves and like using this medicine in the way it's not supposed to be used. And there's one
Yeah.
right now, I don't know if you've seen all this stuff about like Miley Cyrus has been hanging out with a lot of people who are in a cult and like
Really?
I don't remember.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
don't remember the
No, I
name of
didn't see
everything
that.
though, so I don't want to like spread misinformation. But yeah, she posted a couple pictures, and like a lot of the people that are in it are like openly in what a lot of people would describe as a cult, but to them, they're like, oh, it's just like a community, and we all support each other. And it's like,
Yeah, she spoke out on it, but I don't.
oh, did she?
Modern mystery school to heal past trauma. The rumor began when a fan, Michelle, shared a TikTok under her account where she said Cyrus had been hanging out with members of the Modern Mystery School. She wrote these two girls, Lily and Blue, were allegedly healers at the cult school. They allegedly met Miley in February of 2023, right after Flowers dropped, and encouraged her to join their cult. And allegedly, this is the reason that Miley had been so MIA. No performances, no public appearances, no promotion of the album at all, aside from the Disney Plus special that was back in March. Your Tango also reported that Michelle wrote, it's allegedly an organization that trains healing practitioners in the traditional of the lineage of King Solomon. These healers are encouraged to join sacrifices every year. They sign contracts stating that they aren't allowed to tell anyone about it. According to the official website, there are schools located in Africa, Tibet, England, Japan, Australia, Romania, and North America. The website also has a blog post called The Truth About the Modern Mysteries Cult School, Culture Community of Light Workers. The post mentions that while people say it's a cult, people who stay at the Modern Mystery School do not get fed regularly and are encouraged to return home. The post also says that while cult tells members to isolate themselves from the people who they know, that doesn't happen here. However, the post in direct contrast to what
Yeah, right.
people who used to go to the school have said. They've detailed much worse experiences, and in some, they dealt with a lot of harm. Not much harm has been said about the mystery school. People have said that they experienced poor treatment and abuse at the school, and many pay $20,000 to be a part of it. Miley was spending time with members of the Modern Mystery School, but it hasn't been proven. Appears to be a rumor. Family members have said that they haven't said they're concerned about her, and no one else seems to be worried that this is actually true. Just seems like she's taken a nice long break from performing and marketing herself. She's been famous since she was a kid. Perhaps she feels she needed to stop and take a break. I
Yeah, I mean,
guess.
I don't like think she's actively in it, but it's weird that she was hanging out with people that are like openly
Well, all
in
celebs are
this
in the
mystery
Illuminati
school.
anyway, so let's
Yeah,
just
literally.
let's remember that. Biggest cult of all.
Hollywood. Literally.
Yeah, if they're in Hollywood, they're in a cult. Anyway, yeah, that was 12 tribes. Crazy. Moving on to Glitch in the Matrix.
So the first one is super short, but I was having a dream where I was singing. I woke up very suddenly from it and then I heard super loud screaming. It went on for a few seconds and it was long enough for me to stand up and still hear it for a few seconds. I was not home alone, and after it stopped it was dead quiet but nobody else heard anything. So like
Whoa.
weird.
That's almost like ghosty, maybe? A little
Well,
bit
I
of.
was just gonna say, I've told you before, I don't know if I've ever said it on here, but like it's hard for me to sleep in a quiet room because I start to
Yeah.
like hear things like right in my ear. And it's like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that might be a little bit of what happens. But
Yeah.
it's weird when it transfers over to like being awake. Because it's usually when you're falling asleep, not the other way around.
Yeah. Like you're almost
I
out
mean,
of
not that
it,
there's
but
like
then you hear
fucking
something.
rules. Yeah.
Yeah. Rules.
Not that there's like rules for how this works, but
Yeah.
it's
So
usually like
interesting.
when
And
you're
like you don't
falling
get an
asleep.
answer. So it's like so
Yeah, you
frustrating.
have no
Like, what the
idea.
fuck was that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Another one is I had a crazy vivid dream when I was in seventh grade that there was a white cargo van outside my house. A man got out, broke in, went to my brother's room, and killed him. I woke up around 3 a.m. and went down to the kitchen. I turned the light on, and a few seconds later, the headlights on a white cargo van outside came on and sped away. Fucking stop. I'm like also reading these for the first time, so this is like live
I
reaction.
know.
Like, whoa, that is terrifying, dude. Maybe
Right.
you literally just like
You
prevented
could have.
something. Like you
Mm-hmm.
just turned your lights on in the kitchen and they
And he
sped
was like, oh,
away.
fuck. Somebody's
You're
awake.
like a, you could be a future teller or like a psychic. Like
I
get
know.
that shit checked out.
Right. There was a time period a couple months
Wow.
ago where I kept having these dreams of people coming in our backyard. And I was like, I hope that this isn't like something. Like, I hope I'm just like
Yeah.
weirdly thinking about it now. So I'm like fixating on it. But I
Yeah.
always get scared that dreams I have are gonna, I mean, they have, which like makes it even scarier. But
Mm-hmm.
um, that's so scary. And like
That's so
seeing,
scary.
ugh, like thank God you went downstairs and turned the light on because who knows
Right. That's just
what
like
could have
too weird of a
happened.
coincidence. That's too weird of a
It's very
coincidence.
strange. That's why like our dogs bark if they hear anything outside. Nugs literally just barked at like 3:45 this morning and I was like, don't fucking do that unless you hear something. Um, but I always like get so annoyed by it and then I think about it, I'm like, okay, but actually like if somebody were to break into our house, I'm super glad that they're loud.
Yeah. And like scared that to know that there's a dog.
Yes. Because
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's
neither of
Nugs,
them
but
would
like
do
who knows that?
anything, but I know neither of
Right.
them would do
Benny
literally anything.
would be very submissive.
He'd bring the pup,
Yeah, you would bring the
bring him a
pup.
pillow.
But look at my pup before you
Yeah.
murder my parents.
But that's why I'm like, I don't think they would do anything, but at least they would give us
No.
enough time to like
The
know.
vocal, you would wake up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, next one.
The third glitch in the matrix one. When I was a kid, I woke up crying in the middle of the night. At the same time, my sister woke up, got up, and without saying anything, started closing the windows. I calmed down and went back to sleep. We didn't talk about it until breakfast when she started talking about a nightmare that she had. Huge black dogs climbing over the fence and under the gate trying to get into our windows. I started filling in the details and we took turns describing the same exact nightmare, but it never happened again after that.
What? That's
Weird,
crazy.
right? Same
That's
thing
some like,
there. Like, did she have like a premonition dream?
yeah, that's some weird like sibling connection.
Yeah.
Like, what's it called?
Also, like the big black dogs, like I just see them as like weird demon forms,
Oh
like
God,
trying to get
yeah,
in those windows.
that's scary. Wow, and that's such telepathy. Is that the word?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's weird.
Something like that.
Wow. Ooh, I'm
That's
excited for
crazy.
this. Yeah, I'm excited for the alien story because
I know,
one is
tell the
fucking
alien
wild.
story. Yes.
This one we did talk about. Okay. So alien story. Okay, so I was in bed. My window was above my bed and behind me. And she put the emojis of like the window in the bed.
It was the
And my
perfect way to
cat,
describe it.
I know, it was funny. And my cat Solo was laying on my chest, which she always did. I saw this huge bright light flash in my room with my eyes closed, and I couldn't move at all or hear anything, but I could still feel my cat on my chest, but it felt more like weight than actually a cat. I was like that for maybe 5 minutes, but I'm not completely sure. After trying to move and open my eyes for like ever, my eyes finally popped open and I see Solo right on my chest, her face facing me, and her eyes are wide as fuck with mainly pupil. I basically threw her off of me because something in me just goes, go check for scars in the mirror. And I stripped naked and looked for any marks and didn't see anything scary. Laid in bed all night, just feeling so fucking weird. And in the morning, I told my mom, and she just said, "You're still going to school." I told my science teacher, who I loved. She was full blown, like, you were abducted. And sometimes they just don't do anything to you. And she pulled this big book off of her shelf and let me read some of the stories from people who had similar experiences. LOL. I don't know for sure I was abducted, but the fact that my cat was acting that way, she made me feel like something definitely happened. And I don't have sleep paralysis or however you spell it. I've never had that happen to me before or after that night where I was fully aware, like I couldn't move or open my eyes. It's so crazy that every story is like this never happened again. Like,
I
what was the
know.
reason? What
I
was the
know. What
reason?
was the reason?
What was the reason?
Yeah, the
To
never happening
traumatize
again is
me?
weird. Yeah.
That's weird.
And like
Oh, and like to strip down and be like, I have to check for scars. Like, why?
to feel like you just need to look and like feel like you may have been like
And not know, like your eyes are
violated.
closed and like you
Yeah.
don't know. That's oh, that's
And
scary.
it's
Because like
not
in sleep
like
paralysis, don't you like hover above your body and you can like see, right? Or like lucid dreaming.
sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of people will experience it like that. I have it once in a while. Like I can count literally on both hands the amount of times I've experienced it, but like
That's
whenever
a lot of
it's
times.
happened, I know, right? But for fucking 30 years. Um anytime it's ever happened to me, my eyes are, I think, open and I'm aware that I'm awake, but my entire body can't move. But there are people who experience it as like they're like an out of body experience almost. And a lot
Yeah.
of people will say that they see a man with a top hat on. Like a lot of people with sleep paralysis say that they see a man, a tall man with a top hat.
There's also a way to lucid dream, right? Like,
Yeah, you literally, from what I've read and like the way that I low key tried, but then was scared, you have to lay like on your back in bed, sitting up,
don't
kind
try
of.
this at home.
And you have to have like a, yeah, literally full alleged disclaimer. Don't do this. Do not try at home. But you have to like stare at a clock until you feel like you're sleeping. But because you're looking at the clock, it's like your brain is registering like, okay, time is passing, but I'm entering like the state of sleeping, if that makes
Weird.
sense. So like something about staring at the clock and like allowing yourself to like still be sitting up. At least that's the way that I've like read about it and tried. But this
Yeah.
this story
Scary.
was definitely not like lucid dreaming or sleep paralysis at all because you don't like see, I don't want to say you don't see things because sometimes you do, but like you don't see bright flashes of light and feel weight on your chest. Like that's very different.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Scary.
I don't know. I believe it, girl. I believe that that might have happened to you. I know you said you don't know for sure, but if it is, I would 100% believe it.
I believe everything.
I know, me too.
Like, tell me anything, I believe it.
Because I just like don't ever want somebody to like not believe something that I tell them. So I'm like, if you fucking tell me you're abducted by aliens, like I'm going to believe that that happened to you.
Yeah. That's so scary. Like that is a very real experience.
Right.
God.
Well, let's get into some conspiracy theories. So we tried to keep these lighthearted for the most part. I mean, there's a lot more deep dive ones we could go into, but for the sake of time, we'll keep them light. So we'll talk, we're just going to kind of throw a few back and forth and see how we feel about them. So the first one is that if there were a giant asteroid hurtling towards Earth, the government wouldn't tell us due to the fear that we would tear each other apart. A few people will be given access to bunkers, and the rest of us won't know until it's too late. I personally 100% believe this.
100%. The rich
There
will
are
get
bunkers.
bunkers and
Yeah.
but also like I don't know, it's just crazy like how long it's kind of like the 100.
Yes.
Like how long are you going to live under
Oh yeah,
round.
I mean, I'm not like fighting for the bunker. I can tell you
Yeah.
that.
No, it's
Cuz
like the zombie thing. It's like, take me out.
yes.
I don't really care. Y'all can sit
Right.
in your bunkers and have a blessed life, but I'm good.
Yes. I'm good. I'm going to fucking go out with this big rock.
Me and my asteroid are out of here.
But
Or
I
honestly,
totally believe
aliens can
that.
take me.
Mhm. Literally whatever. Fucking pick me up. I'm ready.
Scoop
Maybe we
me.
shouldn't speak about that into
No.
existence.
They're like on the way.
Yeah, OTW. ETA
Your
5 minutes.
alien Uber's coming. Yeah, no, I 100% believe that for sure.
Only
All right,
because
this
there's like weird bunkers and stuff already. Like the Denver
yes.
airport underneath of it has like weird tunnels and shit. Like,
Yeah.
what are those things doing there?
Uh-huh. You know they're
But
preparing
anyway,
for something.
they really are.
This next one is could be very sensitive because not everybody obviously believes this and there's no way to prove this. It's again just alleged and please nobody take offense to this, but again, you kind of have to look at it like not everyone's out for your best being and your like the cure, this is it. The cure for cancer exists but won't be released for reasons of greed. And I've said this before because when you think about how much money they're making off of you being sick, not even just cancer, like in general, the
Hmm.
stuff that's in our food, the stuff that's in the products we use, like, and now it feels like, oh my gosh, can you use literally anything anymore because everything has toxins in it? Everything
Microplastics,
is,
red dye 40.
yes, everything is killing you. And it's like, why do you think? Because they make so much money and
Hmm.
all of these billionaires are the ones that own these companies that are making money off of you being sick. So, like, to think this isn't really that crazy for me.
No, I
And
don't think so either.
it's also wild to see how many people are donating to like the research and donating
Hmm.
to these funds. And I'm like, they make enough money as it is off of like these
Just people
patients,
being
which
sick.
is right, which is scary. But then they get donations on top of it. And it's just crazy to think that in this year that we're in and like why would they come out with unless it's going
Hmm.
to literally cost double what you're paying
Well,
to get
and I was just gonna
treatment.
say, even if it's not in the sense that like, oh, big pharma, works hand in hand with these big food companies to like keep us sick, it might even just be
Hmm.
like a scarcity thing. Like the cure might exist, but there might only be like 50 total doses of it that exist. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah,
only people that are going to have access to that are the ones with the most money and the most power and the most wealth.
correct.
So it's like, even if it's not greed and the way that, some people and things might be like conspiring with each other, it could
Yeah.
definitely be that there just like enough of it doesn't exist. But I do think that there is something, even if it's not considered like the cure.
Yeah.
I think there's
Yeah.
something that isn't available to the public for sure,
Yeah. Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yep.
Well, the next one is that if they released Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book, it would bring our world to a grinding halt because of how many disgusting rich people there are in power. Also, Epstein didn't kill himself. I
I believe this.
I 100% believe this.
Mhm.
Absolutely. There is
There's
no
already
other
been so
reason.
many people that have been exposed
Yes.
for like going on this little island and doing
Yes.
all this sketchy shit. Like everyone, all your
Yes.
celebrities, all your politicians, like that you are obsessed with, are part of
Like,
it.
wasn't Emma Stone one of them? That's just like a name that's like coming off the top of my head. I could be wrong though.
Probably. It's probably
Allegedly.
people you just don't even expect.
Right. But no,
Yeah,
it really
everything is
is.
alleged. No one sue us.
Everything is alleged. Everything that we ever say is alleged. I don't know. Ethan made a good point the other night when we were talking about something in this regard. But he was like, people that have that much money, like, just get bored with what the world has to offer. Because we were talking about like weird, like, human sacrifice and like rituals and stuff. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there are people that, do these weird, like maybe not human, but like weird animal sacrifice things. And like,
And human.
Yes, definitely. But I think it's like when you have that much money, you just
Yeah.
kind of get bored with things that you can buy, like to entertain yourself. So you kind of
Mm-hmm.
move into this like weird realm of shit that shouldn't happen. But I know a little bit different than Jeffrey Epstein. But yeah, I think the names in his book would probably ruin the world, legit. Or at least
Yes.
our country, for sure.
Okay, Throwback Thursday just appeared one day out of the blue with the goal of being a silly internet trend to post pictures from the past. I believe it was a project created by the government organizations to encourage large portions of the population to post past photos to enhance their aging and generic algorithms. Genetic algorithms. It would be hard to get access to everyone's old photos unless they had physical access to their homes and devices. This was mind blowing. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so fucking true. Like, you can post your throwback Thursdays, your baby pictures, all that shit that, like, we didn't have the internet for, like everyone else does now, and
Mm-hmm.
post their kids online. But, like, we didn't have that. Our parents didn't have that. They never posted
Mm-hmm.
photos of us anywhere, they just had albums.
Yep.
So, that's so fucking true. Like, the amount of throwback pictures you've posted.
Yep.
Oh,
And it's true
crazy.
too. Like when you think about it, like everybody talks about like, oh, AI and blah, blah, blah. But like AI
Yeah.
has to learn from somewhere. And it's like,
Yeah.
I do see it as, maybe this could have been a way for them to get the baby pictures to compare to the now and use those differences to train algorithms and stuff. Because there
Mm-hmm.
are like the apps, like the yearbook trend that everybody did. Did you see that one
Yeah.
recently?
Yeah.
Which, first of all, I think we've said this on here before, but like the app is Remini and like just look at what you're fucking agreeing to. But
Yeah.
anyway, Area 51 is not an airbase, it's quote a way out. I don't know if a way out is what I would call it, but I
Yeah. Because where are we
definitely think
going?
there's ru- to space to with our aliens.
Yeah.
I do
That's the
think that
pickup
there's
line.
some, yeah, I'm requesting my alien Uber right now.
That's where I'm
I
dropping the
definitely think
pin.
there's something weird going on at Area 51. There has to be,
Yeah.
especially like in that entire part of the United States. There's like Arizona has a lot of weird like vortexy things that happen there and like
Mm-hmm.
supposedly lizard people. I know people are going to be like what the fuck is wrong with you? But like read all of the stories about people that have interactions with lizard people in Sedona. Because we were going
Yes.
to go there and I was like, you guys, like I keep
Be
reading
kind
all
of.
of these stories about lizards.
Yeah. It's also hot.
It is. Oh my God. Yeah.
Um,
We were going to go in May. We were insane.
I know. I've also seen something though that's like there's actually nothing at Area 51. They want you to think that, and it's somewhere
Yeah.
else.
I could get behind that too.
Could see that too. You
I
know,
could absolutely see that.
nothing's too far out of reach. Nothing's too crazy for me to believe in.
No. And that's why like I read like we've been like reading these things and I'm like, damn, like some of these do kind of sound like made up and like a little crazy, but like at this point like it's impossible for
Yeah.
something to not be true. Like there are so few things that you could look at me and say that's impossible to be true
Right.
because it's just not impossible.
No. Literally nothing is, and we don't
Nothing.
know
What we don't
everything,
know.
and we exactly, and we may never know until we're like little ghosts floating around and we can figure shit out. Go spy on the Illuminati.
I can't wait until I'm a ghost. If I die before you, I'm coming with you. Like I'm gonna be you're gonna go to a
You're
medium and they're
gonna
gonna be like, you have a ghost like physically on top of you right now. Like
her and
she's hanging
Morgan
off of your
just
shoulders.
you go out, I go out. We haunt together. We gotta haunt all the social media gurus. We're coming for you, bitches.
Literally, I'm gonna unplug your computer when it's plugged in. I'm gonna fucking restart your Wi-Fi when you're in the middle of recording
Literally,
something.
we
I'm
got a
gonna
long
do all of the
roster.
ghost things. Yeah.
Our days are gonna be
A
full.
long list of where we're starting.
Our days are gonna be packed. Let me tell you.
Well, yeah, we're gonna be busy ghosts. Ghouls. Busy gals. Ghouls.
Busy ghouls. I know. That was
Well,
fun.
that
So
was
many
fun. I know. I wish
crazy
all of our episodes
stories.
were like that. Should we become
Mm-hmm.
a ghost podcast? No, I'm
Spooky
going to become a ghost
podcast.
hunter and then I'll start another podcast
Perfect.
about all of my ghost findings.
I won't be there, but I'll
You're
listen.
gonna call me one day and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm gonna send you a point five of me with like my big like headphones on and like my big
Literally.
pack that I carry around
In
to
your
hunt
in your
ghosts.
I wonder if people live in that in your old house, like who lives
Oh
there
my
and
God,
what
I
they've
think about
seen,
that all the time because my sis,
right?
it's, geez, words are hard. It's in my hometown, and my mom and sister still live there, so I always wonder.
Wait, you didn't tell the murder case about your
Oh my God, I was
hometown.
literally that just clicked in my brain. So I have one true crime story that we'll tell, and I didn't want us to do a lot of true crime in this episode just because I'm a bitch that loves true crime. I love true crime documentaries. I love true crime podcasts. But recently I've been in this like weird kind of like flip with them where I'm like, damn, these are like just kind of
Real people.
exploitative and like not great for
Yeah.
like the families to see. Like the Idaho 4 stuff
Yeah.
really kind of started to get to me when like people were
Even like
spreading
the
like,
Dahmer documentary with Evan Peters. I'm like, who's not going to watch Evan
yes,
Peters? But it's like, why do we have to
right.
relive that and you profit off of that? Like, they've gone through it
Yes.
enough. There's been enough documentaries, there's been enough coverage on it.
Everything.
So, yeah, it's really hard to cover that. And I know it's like a lot about
Yes.
awareness and like safety and
Yes.
but when it's
But
like
it's
made to be a
just
fucking movie, it's kind of
mhm,
like what is this really for?
right.
Entertainment.
That's yeah, literally. And that's why I'm trying to I didn't want us to do true crime as entertainment for this
No.
episode, but this one happened literally like 2 miles away from my mom's house, so I feel like I should tell the story. um,
Mhm.
I'll just kind of give like a super, super summarized version. Okay, so basically in my hometown growing up,
Don't be
and
frightened.
this
That's why.
happened, yeah,
The door
this
opens
happened,
and it opens this way, so like it looks like nobody was there.
oh my God, better not
Anyways.
be. Anyway, um, this happened, I want to say either my sophomore or no, sorry, either my senior year of high school or my freshman year of college. So there was this couple that lived in my town and they grew pumpkins and they had like literally they would win competitions in the state of New York for growing like the biggest, nicest pumpkins. Like it's just such a funny thing to do. So anyway,
Yeah.
they do this like they have a farm, like they're so cute together. Everybody loves them and their pumpkins. People buy like crops from them, like corn and whatever. And and a few years after like all of the pumpkin stuff, the guy of the couple goes missing. And the wife tells everybody he ran away with his mistress. And everybody's like, okay, that's weird. Like, he didn't seem like that. Like, you guys kind of seemed like you were this happy
Yeah.
couple. Whatever. It was weird, but nobody really thinks anything of it because everybody just believes that he did that. So she starts
What?
dating this new guy. I don't remember the exact chain of events, but somehow her and this new guy end up at this cabin like outside of town. I don't remember if it was that they bought the cabin. I don't remember. I think it might have been the guy's cabin, like the new boyfriend's cabin that he had, whatever. But them and their dog were at this house and they got into a fight. One of them called the cops, and when the cops got there, she had shot both of them and burned the house down and the dog. I don't remember if the dog was shot or if he was
Oh.
just burned in the house. It's really fucking sad. I don't even want to think about it. But basically, after that happened, they did like a full search of her original house with the original husband.
Oh
And they
god.
found the husband's body in a barrel in the
No.
backyard. And it had been there for like years. And my friend Lauren, so this is why I even thought to tell the story because I wasn't
Oh
going
my
to.
god.
I was talking to my friend Lauren about something else, and she was like, "You should tell this story, like talking about this." And she was like, "The woman used to give her family like corn and like corn stalks and like crops and stuff." And I'm like, I know this is like morbid as fuck to think about, but like, what if like his decomposing body, like juices, were like seeping out of the barrel like into the ground and they were in these crops that like
Okay.
people were buying and selling and like the pumpkins and blah blah blah. Like but like when I tell you this was legit like 1.4 miles away from my mom's house. Like it
My
was
god.
there's a show about it. And I'll never forget, I was literally watching the ID channel one day, watching this show called Deadline. It's like Dateline, but basically just all about true crime. And I'm sitting there one day, like not really paying attention to the TV. And all of a sudden I hear the name of my hometown. And I was like, what the fuck? And I look and they're telling this story. So it's The show is called Deadline, and the episode title is Harvesting Murder. I don't know if it's on like Hulu or anything. It actually might
Good
be on
one.
Fubo. Yeah. But you should. It tells like the whole story of it, and, like shows the house and the barrel and everything.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Scary.
I know.
Yeah.
Just insane. It's just so funny because they were so well known for their pumpkins that it was like crazy that something like this happened with a couple that like everybody in our hometown knew, as well as like people from all over New York State knew them because they were legit going to like the state fair and like entering their pumpkins in these competitions.
What?
It's so crazy.
Anyway, thanks for
Anyway, we'll be
listening.
back.
Happy
Yeah.
Halloweeny.
Happy Halloween. We'll be back next week with I don't know, something. We'll figure it out before then. Let us
Something.
know. Yeah, we'll be back.
You
Maybe we'll
think?
just keep telling ghost stories back and
What
forth.
do you think?
Oh, also everybody say congrats to Benny. He hit 100,000 on TikTok yesterday.
Yes. Good job. Oh
He's
my God, I have to make his
famous.
cake. His
Yeah, you do.
balloons came and I have to make his cake. We'll
Benny
do
is
it
more famous
tomorrow.
than either of us will ever be. Anybody listening to this will ever be. No, I'm just kidding.
No, literally though. You're
That's
so
why he only comes in
famous.
at the end. He's like, I'll give you a tiny little cameo at the end, but you
Literally.
do not get me for this whole episode. I'm booked and busy.
Just using him for clout over here.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
at least
Follow
you're not
Benny the
posting his
Golden.
analytics. Yeah.
Yeah, I could be doing that shit.
You
My
really could,
client.
though.
My
My
client.
client, Benny. My client, my dog.
I could. I could do that, but I'm not.
You really could, though. That would
What do
be
you have
like
to say?
justifiable because it is
What do you
you.
have to say? I know, that's true. That's true.
And you're funny as fuck. Like, actually, those videos are funny as fuck. And I swear I'm not just saying that.
Thanks. But he's the
Your
yeah,
commentary for
see,
him
he's
is
saying
so
I'm the
good.
personality bitch. Love y'all. See you
Love
next
you guys
week. Happy
so
Halloween.
much.
Be safe.
Yes,
Get
everybody makes smart
go
choices. I'm with
trick or
my
treat.
witches. The one day a year that I can wear this shirt. I
Stay
am good
tuned
boy.
for Benny's Halloween costume. Are you gonna be a taco?
All right, Benny, we're done. Take your mother.
Make this into another TikTok. All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.